Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about today is our power grid and the reliability crisis. There were approximately 10,000 energy projects in April that were designed to produce more than 2,000 gigawatts of collective power, waiting for permits from federal and state agencies to connect to electric grids just across the United States alone. And the problem is that nearly twice the collective energy output of the 1,250 gigawatts now being produced by all the nation's power plants, most of which were built to generate power using fossil fuels. So therefore, there are two bottlenecks that are looming. More power is trying to squeeze into an inadequate grid, and coal-fired plants are being retired faster than new plants are using renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar, are being built to replace them. The United States is heading for a reliability crisis, and to use the term crisis for melodrama, but because it is an accurate description of what we are actually facing here, I think anyone would regard an increasing threat of system-wide extensive power outage as a crisis. Without restoring balance in the nation's energy equation that includes coal, natural gas, and oil, energy prices will skyrocket, grid reliability will degrade, and families all across the country are going to suffer. Under the Federal Power Act, Natural Gas Act, and Interstate Commerce Act, among other legislative and administrative actions, FERC, or FERC, is responsible for managing the nation's electrical grid. More than 5,200 megawatts of oil, gas, or coal rather, and nuclear power plant energy generation were retired, literally retired, between 2013 and 2022, and another 5,000 megawatts of coal and oil-fired generation could be retiring in coming years, and this is all according to the U.S. Energy Information Agency. Now, coal-fired plants, and that they generate more than 200,568 megawatts of energy, plan to shut down by 2029 because of continued competition from natural gas and renewable resources, and higher operating costs associated with older, less efficient coal-fired generators. And this was reported by the EIA in November of 2022. Now, it is said that an average of 9,450 megawatts of coal-fired electricity was retired. They keep using that word, retired, but it's true. Annually between 2012 and 2021, and U.S. coal-fired plant retirements totaled 11,778 megawatts of capacity in 2022, and that trend is expected to continue at least through 2029, when the EIA projects 23% of the remaining of 200,568 gigawatts of coal-fired energy will then go offline. So then we have Michigan, Texas, Indiana, and Tennessee will see the most coal-fired capacity retirements through 2029. And this is accounting for a combined 42% of energy generation in those 4 states that will need to be replaced. Now, natural gas is also leaving the grid faster than it is being replaced. In November, FERC anticipated 107 units of high probability natural gas units totaling 17,062 megawatts capacity would go online by September 2025. And over that same time span, however, 130 units totaling 17,489 megawatts of natural gas power will go offline. So by September 2025, FERC anticipates that the amount of electricity that is produced by renewable energies will grow from a quarter of the nation's power generation to 1/3 of available installed generating capacity. So, utility scale solar and wind generating capacity would expand from 17.37% of domestic capacity to 23.24% by September of 2025, with solar and wind accounting for 11.23% and 12.01% respectively. And this is all according to FERC. Now, while the sharp increase of FERC's 3-year forecast for wind and for solar, coupled with the coal-fired plant retirements and the apparent peaking of natural gas as a source for electric generation applauded by renewable energy proponents, even those who support the shift to renewables are raising alarms about the timing of the transition, that this is happening faster than the government capacity to plan and regulate. Now, FERC is also responsible for permitting and regulating energy infrastructure, plants and transmission lines, and that also includes interstate natural gas pipelines and facilities for exporting and importing liquefied natural gas. Also, foreign and domestic actors, you know what I'm talking about, are testing our cyber defenses every single day. Physical threats to the grid are on the rise, and extreme weather of all kinds are also threatening power to customers across the country. So among the steps in addressing cybersecurity is the January finalization of a rule that requires the North American Electric Reliability Corporation, or NERC, to develop enhanced cybersecurity standards. And FERC Commission updated and enhanced their winter preparedness measures designed to help prevent a repeat of grid impacts that we saw in 2021 with the winter storms, especially the one that happened in Texas. So the commission in March, they approved new reliability standards to further protect our electric system supply chain from hostile actors. Yeah. So with all of that being said, there's a good chance that we're all going to be in some big kind of trouble with our power grid. So how do we prepare for that? Okay, that is something that we should all talk about and we should all start planning for. Okay, now I know you'll say, well, I've got this generator, that generator, flashlights and batteries and candles and this and that. That's not going to last very long. Okay, let's start thinking bigger. I'm serious. Go big or go home, right? That's what the saying is. So honestly, you know, Sean and I, when we were at Home Depot the other day, we were looking at, they've got, what is that? The whole house generator, Generac. I don't know much about them, but I'm going to have to look into them. We don't have a very big house here, you know. Total, you know, living, not including the garage, but living, okay, we're just a little over 1,200 square foot, so it shouldn't run us that much, you know. I'm thinking maybe 6-7 grand. Do I have that money in my bank? No. But with a little bit of saving, you know what I'm saying. But that's something that I'm talking about, go big or go home, you know, because I'm not all about that life, you know, going to living totally off grid, not with my medical problems, plus not just that, having children in the house, things like that. I have to think of my family here, and not just that, we live in a hurricane prone area, and I have to think about my grandchildren, my children, things like that. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one, okay? You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.